AnswerRocket's use of generative AI technology is really throughout the pipeline of the process of helping business users answer questions. So it's not just a matter of saying, type the question into GPT, rather it's using the language model, the generative AI, to understand the data long before the question is asked, to understand the question, but then also to understand the results that the database produces to reply to that question. So we use generative AI at all the different stages, lots of different models, lots of different prompts, lots of different applications to take the user's question into an answer that's produced by a co-pilot, as though it were a helpful assistant, rather than it being some remote AI that's only trained on what that remote AI was trained on as a foundation model. How is AnswerRocket different? What is different about us? And so it comes down to the way that we use those models and all the other things that we use. So AnswerRocket was developed over a course of 10 years, and language models have only really been a part of that journey for the last 1 year. Prior to that, there were many parts of the technique for answering user questions in a way that's reliable and safe that were developed by AnswerRocket even before language models. So now the combination of those traditional capabilities of AnswerRocket with the language model means that we can be enterprise ready, we can be secure, we can be governed, we can be reliable, but we can also have the power, the superpower of the language model to tell the story, to provide facts in a way that's relatable back to the user. And so that's really the power of the AnswerRocket solution. So skills in AnswerRocket are fundamental units of analysis, right? So you might have, as your business, you've been operating for 100 years or 50 years or 20 years, you probably have a way that you know to forecast what your sales are going to be. No language model is going to be better than you at forecasting your own business. But what you can do with AnswerRocket is create a skill that encapsulates that particular analysis and then make it part of the language model conversation. In this way, AnswerRocket comes with many skills out of the box. You can expand those skills with capabilities of your own, and you can expand into the future with new skills using our Skill Studio. This is a capability that's fundamentally part of AnswerRocket that allows you to take your data science capabilities, both now and in the future, and build them in a way that makes them part of the language model conversation. So now you get additional insights that were previously not known to the language model or even to you, but they're built into that conversation as part of how the solution works. So the connectivity of AnswerRocket and Max into your data is a key question that comes up from many of our customers. From the beginning of the journey of AnswerRocket, the goal has been to connect to any kind of data that you might provide, right? So all the traditional models of different kinds of SQL databases and DAX and all these relational models, that's sort of fundamental to the DNA of Max. But then on top of that, now with the unstructured data sources, the so-called dark data and retrieval augmented generation, these techniques that are coming about now because of language models, we can connect into all of your existing assets, whether that's in a structured data source or maybe that's in emails or in PowerPoints or in PDF documents. So all of these can be synthesized and made part of the brain of Max in terms of helping you answer your questions. This is why we call it a co-pilot, because it truly can have access to all the same documentation and training that a human would have, and it can ride shotgun. It can be the co-pilot for that human who is performing analysis, who is making recommendations for the business. It can provide an augmentation of what that individual is capable of doing. With the Skill Studio that I mentioned earlier, what's really critical is that now you can also connect to data that is maybe saved away in structured files, but not in a database. Maybe it's a Parquet format or a CSV format or Excel spreadsheets, or maybe it's in Google Sheets, right? It can also connect real time to APIs, right? APIs that might provide current sensor values. It might provide information that's really not available in a structured way from a database, but that you can get from an API. And the magic of the Skill Studio is that these sources, many disparate ones, can be combined. They can be combined in a way that now the language model can analyze not just what was the weather and what were sales, but how did the weather drive sales, right? And this combination really becomes magical in terms of its ability to provide unique and thoughtful insights for your business.